Now, looking at the other side of our conversation before we draw it to a close, we will be analyzing the performances of various asset classes in 2024 and set expectations for 2025, even as we see that investors are presented with a dynamic landscape shaped by economic trends and market fluctuations. Now, the US dollar has emerged as a strong hedge against the depreciation of the naira, yielding impressive returns for dollar savings. Meanwhile, the Nigerian stock market has shown remarkable resilience with significant gains across multiple sectors. Internationally, US stocks have thrived, buoyed by anticipated rate cuts, while digital assets like cryptocurrencies have attracted high-risk investors with substantial returns. So understanding these trends will be crucial for making informed investment decisions in this new year. And I have joining me Ayodeji Ebo, who is the Managing Director, Chief Business Officer, Optimus by Afrinvest. Join us to talk about this. Thank you so much, Mr. Ayodeji, for joining us.
Yeah, thank you for having me. Great to be here.
Of course. So what factors would you say contributed to the 69% return on dollar savings in 2024? And do you expect this trend to continue in 2025?
Okay, thanks, and very good question. Based on the projection and also looking at the improvement in terms of dollar supply and some of the interesting positive developments that have been introduced within the FX market, we don't expect as much appreciation in the in dollar investment in naira terms. So what I mean is that if you are investing in dollars, that means if you are converting naira to dollars and you are investing, like you rightly mentioned, 69% last year. But for this year, our projection is that there would be mild depreciation of the dollar, of the naira, which we are projecting within the official market, maybe about 14%, and the parallel market about 17%. We may translate to just about maybe 30% improvement in returns in naira terms.
We also saw that the NGX All Share Index returned 38% in 2024. I'd like us to look at the sectors said to be driving or that actually drove growth last year, and which sectors that you are expecting that will perform well in the year 2025.
Okay, thanks. And we look at the leaders. We're starting from the oil and gas space, driven by likes of Seplat, even Corn Oil, and most of the companies within that space did very well. The banking sector did very well, the insurance, consumer goods. So you would say that for most of the major sectors did very well in 2024. So, but yeah, 2024 is gone. What will be in the mind of investors is what are the sectors that will perform well in 2025? One of the top sector that it would be the insurance sector, which is on the back of the recapitalization exercise. Secondly, the telecommunication sector on the back of the upward review of tariff would impact positively, and less volatility of the FX will also help their financials in 2024. Look at the agri sector. There's been continuous demand even for their products, and we think that that will be sustained in 2025. The banking sector, yes, will be positive, but we don't expect as much appreciation in those stocks due to dilution of their shares. But we think that they would also be very positive given the high interest rate environment that we get. And lastly, the oil and gas, maybe towards the next second half of the year, for those that have made acquisition, likes of Aradel, Seplat, will begin to see that impact. MRS that also won the bid will begin to see that impact on their share price, maybe towards the second half of the year, based on the production they make. So it's also going to be an interesting year for investors.
Okay, earlier on you talked about how investments will be impacted due to the naira dollar rate. But then how will the anticipated interest rate cuts in the US impact the performance of stocks in 2025?
Okay, good. So when you look at the relationship, even theoretically, So once interest rate comes down, it means that finance cost of companies will be reduced, and as a result, profitability would increase. So the expected interest rate cut is positive for the US market. Secondly, why we are also betting that the US market would be positive this year is that looking at the trend and the philosophy of the incoming president, Donald Trump, American first. So for most of the companies that operate within the country, would want to ensure that they benefit, they create the jobs in the country, it supports them with funding so that they can be able to be more profitable and also increase output. So we think that that will do well. Yes, we're expecting that there will still be a bit of volatility given the impressive performance in 2023 and 2024, but investors should have that long-term perspective in stocks when they are investing, and also ensure that the dollar cost average on those stocks that have strong fundamentals. So don't just buy one off and that's all. You take advantage of the dips that we'll see, and we think that it's really going to be a positive year.
Well, of course, for the stocks, for cryptocurrencies, for those who invest in gold, real estate, and every other sector that actually churn in money for the investments, one will be hoping that it will be positive for them also and for other businesses in Nigeria for the year 2025. Mr. Ayodeji Ebo, Managing Director, Chief Business Officer, Optimus by Afrinvest. Thank you so much for sharing your thoughts with us in this short time. Definitely we will be reconnecting with you to get more details as regards what will be happening probably by the middle of 2025 and see what growth will come to the various critical sectors, of course.